What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MakeTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to talk about the Plastic Detox. It's a 2026 Netflix documentary that just dropped, and I know you guys are super excited to hear about it. This has been all the rage. I have had people coming up to me, tears in their eyes, and they've said, Sir, could you please review the Plastic Detox on Netflix? And I do the Lord's work here on this channel. So, of course, yes, ma'am, or sir, I will review the Plastic Detox for you. It does have audio description. The audio description is fine. There's a lot happening in this documentary. It kind of is trying to accomplish a lot in a short period of time. For Netflix, who does a lot of docu-series, this probably would have existed better as a docu-series, probably could have explained itself better, had a little bit more science behind it. We could have actually done what the thing wanted us to do that we don't really get to do. So, um, so the Plastic Detox is technically about six couples who end up they're having fertility problems, so they sign up for this movie. I guess, I don't know. And so they become what you would think is the central focus of the movie, but the movie also becomes sort of a call to action, like an urgency, like Danger Will Robinson. And so six couples are trying to detox, cleanse themselves of plastics in their lives because we're full of microplastics now, and we probably are. I'm not like contending that. I'm sure I have microplastics in me. It's that's where we are. It's the same thing. Like we could talk about how all the medications we take are bleeding into our drinking water. We have so many forever chemicals. I get it. But these are the kind of things that our political landscape just doesn't want to support right now. So basically, you say this to like a large, I don't know, selection of the population, they just go, nah, no, nope, not true, not true. I'm gonna go eat some RFK approved food. So, uh, I I wish the film was better because I think it's got the right messaging and it's hard in the right place. It's just kind of a messy documentary because if you really look back at it, like it's like I agree with it, like I get the sentiment behind it, but I don't want to just praise it because like, ooh yeah, we're on the same page. It does kind of introduce six couples, and then it doesn't really have the time or space to actually fully discuss them and like what it is they're doing individually, each couple, like the little differences they're making, because it wants to also focus on the science of plastic and like how it's invading different parts of our lives. So it's kind of like two documentaries in one. One of them is like the dangers of plastic, and the other is like what's going on with the six couples. So they smash them together into a documentary. So it doesn't really work because we don't spend enough time with the couples to know all the little changes that they're making to their lives and how it's working, how it's affecting them. We don't see the progression over time, the normal things that you would see in a documentary that was actually focused on six couples, because we're also having to learn about the science of plastic. So it's like two things. Like there's two documentaries that they wanted to make, but they couldn't make two documentaries. They got the funding for one, so they were just like, we'll make the same one, and that'll be great. I don't think it is. There's also no control, so there's no like, and here's Jim and Pam, and they love plastic, and they're not going to change their lives at all. we'll, we'll see how they go. um, but there's no like comparison, and it's hard to tell when you're detoxing your life. You end up doing other things anyway. Like there are other things that could make people inherently more healthy. Like they lose some weight, right? Well, if you're getting up and you're doing more physical activity because you're trying to avoid other things, you're trying to avoid plastics, they talk about how they cook like fresh meals and stuff like that. And it's like, well, you're burning off more calories, you're more involved in the process of cooking food for yourself. So therefore you are, you know what I'm saying? Like you're more active. It's easy to pop something in the microwave. It's easy to DoorDash something. It's a lot more energy is being spent when you're cooking. So to try to attribute that to Plastic Detox, which is kind of what the movie insinuates. So, um, yeah, this is a tough one for me because I'm very much I'm an open book when I come into my reviews. Like, I don't believe in hiding a bias. There are plenty of other people on YouTube now that are pretty much pushing their bias to a certain point, and they're like, no, but we're not. We are, but we're not. And it's like, but you are. So, like, I made the RFK joke. You know exactly where my headspace is. But the problem with the Plastic Detox is, even though that I agree conceptually with what it's trying to do, it's not a great documentary. It's just, this is one of those rare cases where it's just like, theoretically, at the end of the day, the actual process of making a film was lost. Theoretically, it just doesn't work because you have two different things that are happening here. And you can be biased. Like, you can show your I didn't go to Plastic Detox thinking it was going to be pro plastic. So the people who were like, well, it's of course it is. What did you think they were going to do? But it's in how you structure it, and it's how you present your case findings and studies. And the fact that they chose to sort of merge two things into the life, I'm not really sure the couples are necessary, especially six of them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they could have probably just done their anti-plastic documentary and explained all the different ways that microplastics are affecting our lives, and dive and just really just get into the science of it all, right? And get into the experts and bring them all in, present as much information. And then also, oh, here's a couple that, by the way, they decided to detox their life of plastics, and they live this healthier life and before and now, and perhaps it's the detox of plastic. We don't know if it's the detox of plastic, but it might be that caused them to become fertile and have a baby. So, I think that's probably the better documentary. It's a clashing of ideas, and that just doesn't work here. It's two films that were sort of not meant to be the same thing, but then shoved into the same thing, and then they have to give each other space. But when they give each other space, it's not like Netflix gave them the increased runtime. This isn't like a 3-hour documentary. So it still is trying to make it out in the same sort of relative amount of time, knowing about what a Netflix audience is willing to sit and watch in terms of a feature-length documentary. Um, so it ends up just kind of falling out, like, and falling flat. Um, Surprisingly, rarely do I ever want to go rotten on a documentary, but I'm going rotten on this one just because I don't think it works as a documentary. Like, the actual foundation of what it is, I don't think works. Even though I agree with the messaging and the urgency behind it, there's something that's very sort of sloppy about the way that it's put together, and the fact that because it's choosing to do so much, it can't support the weight of either. So, some editing, some choices needed to be made. I'm gonna give it a very high rotten because, like I said, I want to like this documentary, but unfortunately, in the format in which it was delivered, it just doesn't work. So it's a 5.9 out of 10, which is the highest grade I can give before going into fresh. So, um, I go 6 and above, and then below 6 is rotten for those who are unfamiliar with my grading scale. Yeah, so there you go. Um, Unfortunate, but it's not that I didn't feel like I learned things. It's that I just don't feel like when I actually have to sit down and think about it as a film, I just don't think it did what it needed to do. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.